Welcome to Sociology in News. In Sociology in News, we try to cover latest issues from the Hindu, mainly from the OPED page. Today's topic is about labor power and the heading is India's suboptimal use of its labor power. When we talk of labor power, it means we are referring to those people who are working for their livelihood, for meeting their different needs. The labor power can be divided into two types. First one is formal, second one is informal labor power. In a developed economy, formal employment is always much more than the informal employment, whereas in the developing economy, the informal employment is more than the formal employment. Now, this is the point that we should try to understand whenever we are reading about the informal sector. What is the quality of this labor? Does it contribute to the nation's GDP? Because formal employment does. And only if the contribution to the nation's GDP increases, can we call ourselves a developed economy. What does this report or what does this article say? It says that 90% of the people who are working, they are from the informal employment. This means they have little or no job security, no employment benefits, no social protection and lower earnings. These people are either casual workers and most of them they are self-employed. Among the regular wage and salaried workers, we have informal labor. These people, they get very low salary. For example, they could be security guard, they could be office peon, they could be office sweeper. All these people are there. Now, how is this related to the GDP growth rate? It is very much related to the GDP growth rate because the countries or the people's standards of living, mainly the masses, it is related to the nation's GDP growth rate. So, unless and until we have new jobs which are being created or better jobs which are being created or the salaries are increasing, we cannot say that our GDP is growing. So, if we want our people to enjoy a good standard of living, we have to ensure they are working in better jobs, they are getting better salaries and more jobs are being created. Now, why is this necessary? This is necessary because when we see the data, we will find that the labor force participation rate is increasing. This is obvious because the population is increasing day by day. So, naturally, our labor force which is participating, it will keep on increasing. Now, what about the employment? Is it increasing? What about unemployment? Is it increasing? Now, here we have to see that some kind of dynamism is being seen here. It is seen that the overall unemployment rate has declined. So, unemployment is decreasing, which means employment is increasing. So, in which sector this employment is increasing? This employment is increasing in the self-employed category. It is not increasing in the formal sector. No, it is increasing in the informal sector, which is self-employment, right? So, this is where people are getting themselves employed. Now, how is this sector faring? Is it earning good? Are people being satisfied? Here we see that in self-employed category, although the people, the laborers, the number of laborers is increasing day by day, but it is seen that these people are not getting any salary. These people are the unpaid family members. So, mainly these self-employed people, they belong to some family. The family members, they are aiding in this business, and naturally the family members, they are not getting any salary. So, even though the employment is increasing, the quality of employment is low because the wages is not increasing. We can see some examples, like if a member is working as a helper in the family run kirana store, probably someone is selling pan in a corner shop, selling tea and snacks. So, these kind of self-employed jobs are being generated. These are not quality jobs and they will not contribute to the GDP of a nation. So, these are very disappointing trends. As a summary, self-employed people are increasing, the unpaid family workers are increasing, and even though some regular wage and salaried workers, they may also be increasing, but the wages are not increasing, it is stagnant. For example, if one is getting 5k, then probably for 10 years he was getting only 5k, or probably the salary increase was, let's say, 1k, 1000 only. So, it was not much. So, what do we do now? What is the option? How do we ensure that this part, this informal labor, the quality we can increase? Because this informal labor, it is occupying more than 3/4 of the working population. It is involved in low quality work. They are mainly spending all their earnings, they are not saving, they are not investing. Either they are unaware or they do not have enough salary to invest, they do not have enough savings. So, what do we do here? The experts say that we should think on demographic dividend, because our demographic dividend is going to peak in less than 20 years and it will be there for around 30 to 35 years. So, we have 20 years to plan and 30 to 35 years to reap the benefits of this demographic dividend. What is this demographic dividend, you might ask? Any country's population can be divided into 3 parts. First one is belonging to the children, they are depending. Second one is these people who are working population. Third category is elderly people who are again dependent. So, these people are not working, this is the only portion of the population which is working. In a demographic dividend, the working population or the proportion of working age people is larger than the dependent population, which is children and elderly. So, we have to ensure that we generate more and more jobs for this population, so that they start working, they start earning, they start saving, they start investing. So, what do we do as a nation? From the government's point of view, we can invest in education, skill development, so that better skilled jobs are there. We can promote employment opportunities in sectors where more and more number of people are required. We can teach them about entrepreneurship. We can introduce innovation so that more people are occupied. We can also ensure that better health care systems are there so that people do not fall ill regularly and their productivity is high. And last but not the least, we can make them aware about savings and investment. So, this is how we should go about in ensuring that the working population of our nation, they are inducted more and more into the formal sector, better jobs, better salaries, so that as a nation we will be getting more and more savings, more and more investment and a high GDP, which will ensure that we have a high standard of living. Okay, this is what we can learn from this article, and when we try to utilize it in the examination hall, we can add these in the chapter of labor or work and economy topic. Okay, all the best. Try to interrelate them and please post your queries either in the group or drop a message here. All the best and thank you for listening.